So, we are here in the Scully kitchen with Mallory Foster, who is our pastry chef. And Mallory and Frankie have a pretty nice relationship, as you can see. And Mallory's going to talk about making cinnamon rolls.
I am.
And she's going to explain it to Frankie, so when we're done here, Frankie can make her own cinnamon rolls.
No.
What, you're not going to make us breakfast next time?
I'm never making it.
You'll have a better understanding of how cinnamon rolls are made. How's that sound? Can you handle that? Okay, great. Well, I'm going to get out of the way and go away. And if they need me, they'll call me. So you guys have fun.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, cinnamon buns are pretty easy and my favorite food. I don't know what yours is, but this is pretty up there for me.
Cookies?
Cookies, all right. We can do cookies next time. So cinnamon rolls we have on the menu at Corner Kitchen. And it's pretty simple. It's basically a one-bowl recipe. The only tricky part is our cinnamon rolls include a sourdough starter. So I'm just gonna kind of introduce what that is for people who don't know. I go with a pretty basic recipe for my sourdough starter. I always do equal parts flour and water. So you mix them and you just let it sit at room temperature. You don't even need to put a lid on it, but I would recommend at least plastic wrap, just to keep it food safe. So you mix equal parts flour and water. You let it sit on your counter overnight, and the next day you add half as much of the volume as you did the day before. So let's say I did 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of water. The following day, I'm going to feed it with 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. Now, as the volume of your sourdough builds, because you're going to do this every day for, let's say, 3 to 5 days, just to wake up your starter and kind of bring it to life, you can throw some away. It's called discard. There's tons of recipes online for discard pancakes, muffins, so you don't have to throw it in the trash. You can compost it. But I go through enough sourdough starter that I don't have to throw it away. And yeah, this one has been alive, I want to say for 2 years now. And we feed ours with whole wheat flour. It just gives it a more complex acid flavor, and it gives it that true sourdough flavor that you're looking for. If you were to only do, let's say, white bleached flour, you'd end up with something that's a little bit more mild. All right, our eggs are perfectly mixed, thanks to Frankie. So we're just gonna start putting everything in the bowl. You wanna start with warm milk. It brings your yeast to life. And I always start with my wet ingredients first when I make breads, just so the dries don't stick to the bottom of the bowl. Thank you. Add our happy sourdough. I fed this morning to bring it back to life, so that we have something that's completely ready to go. Well, we just talked about that. We gave it a little bit of flour and water this morning. Yeah. Sour cream. This just gives a little more tang and a little bit more moisture. We also have yeast in this recipe. It's not a true sourdough. It's actually a recipe that calls for a shocking amount of sourdough, simply because I like the flavor. And the sourdough is what's called an autolyse. So it's already hydrated flour, and it gives you just a more moist, tender product. And I like the flavor of yeasted bread, so I always put yeast in a cinnamon roll. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready for the yeast to go in?
Yeast. Flour.
So that's our extra flour. We'll add that in later. We do want to add a little bit of sugar. Feed our yeast even more. And we'll wait until the dough starts mixing to add our salt. If we added our salt now, it would kill our yeast. So we have this little bit of extra flour for rolling it out, but also because we use freshly milled Carolina ground flour. You want to help me pour it in?
Yeah.
Carolina ground flour, or any freshly milled flour, absorbs more moisture than a conventional store-bought flour. It has a higher protein content, and the endosperm and bran and all that good stuff
Mix it, mix it, mix it.
absorbs more liquid. So we just have extra in case I got my ratios wrong. So we're gonna mix it for 5 to 8 minutes until it's smooth and stretchy and beautiful. We forgot our egg, your perfectly mixed egg. Ready?
Yeah.
Dump it in. You wanna give me a pinch of salt?
Is this salt?
No, that's our extra flour. This one's salt. Perfect. See it coming together?
Yeah.
So if your dough looks sticky in the beginning, wait at least 4 to 5 minutes before you even considering adding more flour. The flour will hydrate and absorb moisture, and the gluten will bring it all together. So it might look really wet at first, Just give it time. If that 5-minute mark hits and it's still like paste sticking to the inside of the bowl, add a tablespoon more flour at a time until it comes together.
So if I wanted to use Carolina ground flour, where would I get it? Can we get it at the French Broad Food Co-op downtown Asheville?
You can get it at the co-op. They almost always have at least 5 different kinds of Carolina ground. They also carry Anson Mills, which is another local flour. You can also order it online. Their website's very user-friendly and actually really, it's a pretty website. Yeah, we are very fortunate to have their flours. All right, this is almost done, so I'm gonna move it over here. And then you wanna help me sprinkle the counter with flour so we can roll out the dough that we have already. So this does have to sit and rise for about an hour, somewhere like warm and comfy. Usually like the top of a fridge is great. You can also turn your oven on and then turn it off. Let that sit for about a half an hour before you put anything in it, but that creates a nice warm environment as well. If you want to make them the night before, that's fair game. You can make it, skip like the hour of proving and just put it right in the fridge, or do the hour of proving, roll them out, slather them up, cut them, and then put these cut cinnamon buns right in the fridge. Ready?
Yeah. Sprinkle.
Good job.
A lot. And
Oh yeah, we don't want it to stick to the counter.
spread, spread, spread. I want to cover it.
Yeah, I think that looks good.
And around.
You want to touch the dough? See how it's smooth?
Yeah. Squishy.
It is squishy. So this one's gonna sit and rise for a bit. Typically, I would take it out of this bowl and put it in a clean bowl that I've sprayed with nonstick spray, just so it has no resistance. Right now, there's parts of it that are sticking to the bowl, and it wouldn't rise completely, perfectly. Joe's gonna hook us up with a bowl.
Try to be useful where I can. There you go.
Beautiful.
And you can just take a old towel and put it over the top.
Yeah, you definitely want to cover it. We have butter to whip. I use dark brown sugar because I like the moisture content, and it makes it sticky and just a little bit warmer. And then butter. And a ton of cinnamon. I'd also say use at least a tablespoon of salt. You want to be able to taste the salt or it just gets cloyingly sweet. All right, now while our...
They did a pretty shape.
We did. While our butter and sugar is creaming, which I would recommend doing for at least 7 minutes, makes it easier to spread if it's fluffy, we'll roll out our buns. So this dough I made yesterday, I chilled overnight, and then I pulled it this morning.
Gooey.
So you want to roll it out into as close to a rectangle as you could possibly get.
Move your teeth, Frankie.
That way we don't knock it on the floor. And then
That's really big.
I would say it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. It is going to be really big. It's going to make a lot of cinnamon buns.
Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Feel.
What we're looking for is for this to get light and fluffy. I started off with cold butter because I forgot to pull my butter. But if you start off with room temperature butter, it shouldn't take so long. But you definitely want it to be soft. It's hard to spread on the dough if it's not softened. You ever put cinnamon sugar on your toast?
No.
No. You want me to give it a shot?
Let Mallory do it, Frankie.
Thank you. You want to spread it all across in one even layer. If you don't have an offset spatula, a rubber spatula, a butter knife, whatever you have is fine. You just want to be gentle. You don't want to squish or stretch your dough too much. Which is why we were getting our butter mixture as soft as possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go, Mallory. Dental floss.
Thank you.
Just for you. It has nothing to do with her teeth, guys. It's just, you'll see.
All right, to seal the edge, you can use an egg or you can use water. I'm using my egg bowl that I just put water into, so it's the best of both worlds. So just gonna put it on the seam on the opposite side, because we're gonna roll in that direction. It'll help seal them and keep them from bursting open after while they rise. Bursting. All right.
Thanks for making my mama's cake. It was the best.
You're very welcome. Perfect, Frankie. I'm impressed. You've done this before.
No, I didn't.
No? All right, so we're just gonna pull this side up and push it over. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
All right, now let's get a little bit more flour down. Prevent any sticking. Because we're gonna roll it back this way so it's seam side down for when we cut it. But I like chubbier cinnamon buns, so I'm just gonna chub this thing up. Make it thicker. Yeah.
Can I have a little break with my daddy?
Of course you
I'm
can.
not to get mine. Stop, Dad. Can you get me off? I want to go.
She needs assistance.
I love you, Daddy. You're the best.
Thank you.
Now get me back on.
Okay.
All right. The cinnamon bun roll should be equal all the way down, which is why I'm like pushing it in, because usually the ends get tapered and tinier. All right, so I cut mine with floss. You can use a knife, but that downward cutting motion kind of squishes the roll and you don't get those perfect circles. It doesn't matter, you can just reshape them. So we're gonna cut the little end bit off.
Oh, so cool.
We'll still bake it, but it's not as cute as the other ones. And then I do about 1.5 inches to 2 inches per. They're pretty tall.
Pan spray, parchment, sheet pan.
Yeah.
What do you think, Frankie? You go for it.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'll pick this up and get the floss under. Well, the first time I ever was a pastry chef, I was trained to cut cakes with floss.
Really?
And I've been doing it ever since. Yeah, because you
It's cool as anything.
squish the cake as you pull the knife through, so if you just floss it.
It's great. Okay, everybody, that's really important tip here.
Cut all baked goods with floss. You won't squish them. So these are gonna prove for about an hour again in a warm place. They need to double in size. And then once they have doubled in size, you can pop them in the oven. You should have the oven preheating while these are proving. And they'll bake for about 15 to 20 minutes at this size until they're golden brown and tall and the whole house smells amazing. And then when they come out, you can top them with whatever you want. Some people like a simple icing, powdered sugar, and milk. I'm a big fan of cream cheese frosting, which I brought with me today. But my cream cheese frosting is cream cheese that you beat until it's soft, add a little bit of melted butter, beat that until well combined, and then add some powdered sugar. And now we let them rise. And then we'll bake them. And then we'll eat them.
Can I touch it?
Yeah. So if you touch it, you see that it springs back just a little bit, but not all the way. That's how you know they're proved. You also get these little air bubbles in there. That means the yeast is alive. It's making air, it's breathing. But yeah, you just want to touch it, and it should spring back a little bit, but not all the way. If it springs back all the way, it's not proved enough. And if you touch it and it doesn't come back at all, it's overproved, which is fine. It just, when they bake up and it's overproved, they collapse a little bit because there's no longer enough gluten structure, there's too much air. And if they're underproved, they're just a little dense.
Back in.
It did. See? It means they're ready. 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes until they're golden and tall and everything smells great. And now we wait.
What is that, Liz?
This is cream cheese frosting.
Is it really good?
It is really good.
Okay.
So you want to ice them while they're hot so it gets all melty.
I like when it's squishy.
It is squishy. See all the cinnamon we put in there?
Yeah.
You are.
Mom, Dad!
Make sure you
we're
blow
almost
on
done!
There you go. We're gonna start here.
Yeah.
Are you going to try eating it?
You gotta blow on it, or just go for it.
Or just go for it. Is it good?
And there you have it.
That's the best way.
Frankie approves.